Greetings, everyone, and welcome. It is June the 15th, 2025, 4:33 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11:33 p.m. there in Ukraine. Happy Father's Day to all you fathers. I had a great day with my family, and I hope you did as well. Tonight, really breaking news in regard to Zelenskyy, because he's coming out and saying in his evening address, it is impossible to continue with the double standard that the United States is giving Ukraine. You tell us not to hit their electrical infrastructure, and that is Russia. And the moment you tell us to do that, you have a nice conversation with Vladimir Putin. He hangs up with you and he smashes our electrical infrastructure, our energy systems. That is unacceptable and it cannot continue. I have that for you. And he is direct and you can see the expression in his face, and we're going to jump to it. But there's a lot of other things unfolding that Donald Trump has stated today in regard to Ukraine, in regard to Israel, and all of it's connected and all of it centers around their Messiah there in the white suit, Vladimir Vladimirovich Putin. And this is just not going to work. And Zelenskyy calls it out. It's awesome. Get ready to put a smile on your face as you hear Zelenskyy. Zelenskyy tonight giving straight truth. Just minutes ago, the United States asked us not to attack Russian energy, after which the Russian Federation carried out a combined attack on our energy in Kremenchuk. This is Putin spitting immediately after the conversation with Trump. Let me interpret that even into colloquial English. Trump is weak. You allow this man to strike us, that man being Putin. Let me get right to the video. Here it goes. Zelenskyy just minutes ago.
Dear Ukrainians, today our rescuers battled the aftermath of Russia's strike on Poltava region, specifically Kremenchuk. It was a combined attack, deliberately targeting our civilian and energy infrastructure. Russians used various missile types, cruise, ballistic, and aeroballistic. They also used drones, including Iranian Shaheds, to challenge our air defense. We managed to shoot down many missiles and drones. No casualties, but sadly, our energy infrastructure was damaged. This is Russia's response to international peace efforts. Right after Putin's call with Trump and Americans asking us not to hit Russian energy targets. While Putin poses as a Middle East mediator and aids his Tehran allies, it's utterly cynical.
It's utterly cynical, and he goes on to give further updates, but he drops the straight truth. He says Kremenchuk was hit very hard, and now Putin wants to be the mediator for his buddies in Tehran. It is absolutely cynical. Right after hanging up with Trump. And ladies and gentlemen, you may not know where Kremenchuk is, but Kremenchuk is a very, very key city for Ukraine, and we don't call it out a lot. But just so you know, this is Kyiv, this is Odessa, this is Kharkiv, and Kremenchuk is right in the middle of them all. It is a key city on the Dnipro River. There's power infrastructure there. There's all types of energy infrastructure, very key city there. You can see right in the middle, and that is the city that Russia struck massively. Since we're here, we can check on air raids right now, and you can see what is happening in central Ukraine, in the Donetsk region, and they are on their way to Zhytomyr region. We also are aware that salvos are loaded for a missile attack. It's still early before that would unfold. And typically when we see drones getting this far over, there may be an indication of a strike. We'll stay on top of it and update you. Now, I want to now move to this. Zelenskyy dropping that straight truth and talking about utter failure and a disgusting option that Vladimir Putin would be the mediator for the war between Iran and Israel while he's spitting in the face of the world, striking Ukraine the way it is. What about the Russian view on the United States? It's like, unfortunately, my poor country, and I don't mean that economically, or I mean it sadly. The leadership is absolutely oblivious to this, thinking they are the rulers of the world. I've got news for you. The strongest leader in the free world is that man right there, Vladimir Zelenskyy, period. Not even close. Nobody's even close to him. What he has had to endure for all these years, and he's still standing strong and leading. All right, Peskov on Trump today, he was questioned about how are things going with Trump. Here's the answer. It's extremely interesting.
It's been over 6 months since Trump's election. What's stopping the progress he once promised in US-Russia relations? Don't forget, there's still a lot of inertia. That's the first thing. Secondly, the mess in our relations is just too big to clean up quickly.
There is a lot of inertia, but the mess in our relations is too messy to clean up quickly. Now, that's translated like straight with the words, but the meaning of it is our relations are a pigsty. They are a mud pit. We do not have good relations with the United States, no matter what they're saying. I don't care how much Putin and Trump call each other and bromance it. Putin is playing Donald Trump like a fiddle. And when you have these calls and then instantly you have strikes on Ukraine's infrastructure, finally Zelenskyy calling it out tonight and saying, "What? You're clueless in regard to reality." Here's some reality for you that will bring confirmation to this. ABC News reporting and others, all kind of interviews today, all kind of things unfolding on Sunday. Trump says it's possible the United States could get involved in Israel-Iran conflict. I can tell you right now, strikes are going back and forth between Israel and Iran. And unfortunately, this is a full Ukraine update. Ukrainians have lost their lives in Israel. And I will show you that in a moment. It's unbelievable, guys. Trump, in this article, this interview, and in other avenues, has basically made these three statements, which are chaos. Number one, there will be peace between Israel and Iran soon. There are many calls and meetings happening now. Okay, that was the statement. And then later he says, well, I am the one that developed America first. Now, this was in response to people like Marjorie Taylor Greene, MTG, and Tucker Carlson turning on Trump as a warmonger. That he didn't run to have wars, he ran to have peace. So now you're seeing a complete fracture inside that Trump world. And I think we saw the evidence of that yesterday I'm very honored for my military in the United States, but that was a terrible show in Washington, D.C. that nobody came to, that was sponsored by Palantir and Coinbase. Are you kidding me? And I won't even take time to show you how Russia, North Korea, China, honestly, all the countries of the, I mean, even Ukraine, European, trolled the United States for what a terrible show, while people were coming out on the No Kings protest by the millions. Don't want to get into that, but this is the statement coming out of that. It is Trump saying, I developed America first. If that means we must assist in the destruction of Iranian nuclear capabilities to achieve peace, then we will do it. So two opposite statements within hours of each other. Oh, Israel and Iran, that'll be okay. We're having some calls right now. Oh, if we need to get involved and go take them out, we can do that. And then thirdly, confirming again today, after his birthday call from Vladimir Vladimirovich Putin, the bromance, he said, yes, it is very possible that Putin could become a key mediator between Israel and Iran. Ladies and gentlemen, that is horrible. And I will tell you why right now. If Vladimir Putin were to move into position as mediator between Iran and Israel and take that key role, he would require things in exchange for that. What could those be? Easy. Dropping of sanctions. It would have nothing to do with stopping the war on Ukraine. It would only make it worse. It would increase the budget for the war machine in Russia. He'll say, I'll get you peace in the Middle East. I'll back Iran down. I'll take care of their nuclear. I'll make sure everything is okay. You guys take care of your place. I'll take care of that. More money will come into my machine, and I will continue to wage war on Ukraine. That is an absolute disaster. And if that happens, well, let's just hope it doesn't. If it does, we'll be all over it. But I'm telling you right now, on June the 15th, that is a disaster. That cannot and must not happen. That is the absolute most, as Zelenskyy said, cynical thing that could possibly take place. Now, this is Bat Yam, Israel. The reason I'm showing you this is a Ukraine update. 5 Ukrainians were killed here. And this just shows you, this is not Ukraine. This is Bat Yam, Israel. Some footage. And yes, the numbers are still coming in. Many killed and wounded there in Israel. But unfortunately, even in Israel, Ukrainians are being killed, and it's extremely sad. I can also tell you that Ukrainian air defense is running out. Just going to call it. This coming from the Ukrainian Defense Forces today, giving an update. They said missile stocks for systems such as Patriots, NASAMS, IRIS are being used up much faster than they are being replenished by partners. And in just a moment, I'm going to tell you why on the next slide as we close out. Number 2, the Russians have learned to circumvent air defenses more effectively. They are combining drone and missile attacks. That's the key. They are launching simultaneously from different directions, sometimes from up to 5 directions. And they are launching many false targets. Those are Shaheeds that are put into the air that have no armament, have nothing. They're basically just flying to fly around, run out of gas, and deplete air defense. Air defense systems, due to the amount that Ukraine has, and we know that the United States was transferring out air defense systems to Israel, which tells you something as well. There is a deficiency. Air defense systems are concentrated mainly around large cities. This is not OPSEC, it's reality. Everybody knows it. Significant delays from some countries in supply, and there are a multiplicity of reasons for that. Iranian drones, modernized caliber missiles, X-101s, X-69s, all this has become more accessible to the Russians. Their supply is increasing while our supply is decreasing. It's just the way it is. And now North Koreans have supplied those KN-23 missiles. At first, they were pure trash, most of them exploding in the air, going way off target. Russia has modified, refined, and now Ukraine confirming that those KN-23s are deadly accurate. All of this lines up to a deficiency and a struggle for Ukrainian air defense. Zelenskyy tonight in the opening statement telling you how good Ukraine's still doing to defend. Shahed strategic change, and this is the final thing for this update. The Shaheeds, unfortunately, have become even more deadly. Now they are not even possible to be shot down with small arms like a machine gun. I mean, I've been there with guys. This is my gun. I shoot Shaheeds out of the air. They're flying too high now. They don't typically come in that 30 to 60 meter range anymore. Now they are launching these Shaheeds at altitudes of up to 5 kilometers in the air. Over 2 miles for the Americans and Brits, where only missiles can reach, and we have fewer of them available, missiles. Also, the Geran 3, the 3rd generation of the geranium, is also active with jet propulsion and speeds up to 600 kilometers per hour. Plus, the payload ability is constantly being upgraded, where in the past we could sometimes simply ignore the Shaheeds, let them go, take them out with small arms. That is no longer possible, and the example Ukraine is giving is Kharkiv, which is under nonstop assault, and it's Shaheeds that are doing a majority of the damage with these larger payloads, and then they can send in some ground-based S-300 systems from just across the border in the Belgorod region. So this is where we're at tonight. I want to thank you for being here. We're watching Israel. There's a lot going on in regard to that. May go live, watching Ukraine. As I shared with you earlier, you can now see the circle that I had drawn when we began. Stopped here. Now we've added Vinnytsia region and Zhytomyr region. Like I was telling you, the Shaheeds are coming west. When that happens, It's typically indicative that there are some missiles coming. How many? Do not know. We know that Russia is preparing for another large attack, but we will keep you up to date. Thank you for all that you do. We appreciate each and every one of you deeply. Be blessed, and we'll be back at you at any moment. Make sure that notification bell is on.